Hello, 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 everyone, and good evening. This is Wealth Talks with Sam, and I have a special guest on again. We've had Brian on before, but Brian, I want you to go ahead and introduce yourself for today.
Good evening, of course. Thanks for having me, Sam. My name is Brian Savage. I am the founder and CEO of Savage Family Office, and we do what you do.
Yes,
In
on a
terms of
different level, but
yeah, on a different
similar.
level. Yeah, we educate and empower our clients, our community, and just look to, as my dad used to say, to leave the pile higher for the next generation. So
Yes, yes, that's always the goal with everything. So tonight we wanted to just speak about what's going on. I know many people have heard about Chadwick, who's they just his family just went through probate court, and although his wife was able to get secure, I think a little bit over 1 million, they ended up paying over 1 million in probate taxes. So this is something that I once I saw it, I reached out to Brian and was like, listen, we have to get back on a call so we can speak about this because this is something that is really impacting our community. Chadwick is not the first person of elite status, as his who has lost, millions to probate court just because of the lack of having his paperwork in order. Prince went through it. Brian, you mentioned Aretha Franklin. Like there are people that look like us who have made it these high statuses that have lost millions, to taxes. And there, especially when there's a strategy put in place for you to keep as much money in your pocket. And even if you're not like a wealthy person, I personally have seen people in my family lose or not get everything they were promised because of we didn't have our paperwork in order. So this is why I put Brian on, because this is what he does. This is his specialty in his field, but helping people to understand the importance of having certain documents in place. And Brian, tell them what those documents are.
well, first and foremost, is a will, a last will and testament, right? a, a, a majority of the times, right, we find that just in not even in business conversation, but in personal conversation and family conversations, we don't want to talk about preparing for our final days or preparing to not be here, right? And it's not a thing of um, what you leave behind; it's who you're leaving behind, right? We look at the last will and testament as, or I should say, generally, right, for what we do. The last will and testament, or your last will and testament, is your last love letter, to your family, right? It's putting things in order, for them. Think of it in terms of, again, what your family would go through, or what we've gone through in the past.
Mm-hmm.
For example, my father passed in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
The emotional roller coaster and just everything that's going on with having to make the arrangements and what have you, and then to not have to have your family worry or be concerned about what happens with your assets,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you do not have a will, right? Because as we've shared before in our conversation, Sam, you and I,
Mm-hmm.
if you do not have a will, the state has one for you, and it's called probate.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not for, I'm just going to be candid, right? It's not pretty,
It's not.
because what happens is the state determines what is in the best interest of your children, if you have
Mm-hmm.
children that you leave behind, your assets or what have you. Like, again, I have two young boys. I have a 5-year old and a 19-month-old. Heaven forbid, if something happens to my wife and I together, we
Mm-hmm.
expire, you know, at the same time without a will. Thank God we do. We have a will in place. But if we were to expire and not have a will in place, our children become wards of the state, right? Because the crazy Uncle Ben could come and say Brian and his wife said that these were their final wishes. We're going to take the boys, or the crazy sister. And I'm trying to be light about it, but again,
Mm-hmm.
anybody could come and say Brian or Sam said these were their last wishes
Yeah.
before they perished. If you don't have a will, well, the state says okay, it doesn't matter what you say. Here's what we're going to do,
Yeah.
right? Your children are going to become wards of your state. So they're going to
Mhm.
go into, foster care or a group home or what have you. Then the state will decide what's in their best interest.
Mhm.
Same thing with any real estate or any assets that you have. The state will determine it. And as you said, as we opened up with Chadwick, it was split literally into thirds. His
Yeah.
wife got a third, his parents got a third, and the state got a third. I think it was 900 mil, whatever it was, 900,000, close to $1
Yeah,
million.
a million. And
Yeah,
it's crazy because that is money that could be used to pass on to the next generation. And I'm quite sure, I can't speak for Chadwick, but I know in my heart that he didn't want to give the state close to $1 million. But what often happens with people is we always feel like we have time. It's like, oh, well, I'll do it now. I have time. And like when I had my most recent child, my baby Serenity, I was like, I had to update my will. I have to get my will updated because if anything was to happen, what happens to her? Like what part of the life insurance policies, because she's underage, she's not 18. So she can't be listed as a beneficiary unless it's put into a trust where it goes through her, and it's still a whole bunch of different steps to that process. But she needs to be listed down to get to be entitled to what I'm building. Like our goal is to build so the next generation can have more. Like we're not building to give it away to probate court or building for our family to not have access to it. Because personally, I know what it's like. My grandfather, God rest his soul, he passed away, did not have a will in place. And there's land in Virginia that he wanted to pass down to his heirs. But because his paperwork was in order, we don't have that land. These are the things that happen. So I know we mentioned celebrities with large amounts of money and big estates, but it happens in everyday living with people that are just getting by, and they work hard, they build up these assets, and their family never gets to receive it because of not having the proper documents in place. And it's why Brian preaches so religiously. I preach so religiously because as a life insurance agent, it don't just start with life insurance. Like I tell people, that's the beginning step to you starting your estate plan. And the life insurance is the first runner up. Now you got to get that will or that trust. You got to get that healthcare proxy done, and you got to get that power of attorney done. You don't just start and stop with the life insurance policy. Like it just doesn't work like that.
and I think that's the beauty of what we do. Right?
Mm-hmm.
As just before we got on, I had shared with you, I wanted to make a point for us
Mm-hmm.
to share why we do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's a passion, right? It's for us, I can say us, right?
Yeah.
It's not about getting paid.
No.
It's about educating and informing those in our community, those who are our clients, those individuals that we care about, that we want to see not have happen, the way things have happened in the past, like with your grandfather. Same
Mm-hmm.
scenario with my grandfather.
Yeah.
My great grandfather had a whole bunch of land in
Mm-hmm.
Virginia, and over the years, it left the family. Like it's now down to 1/3 of an acre of land. That's
Yeah.
that my father had, before he passed, and my mother and I have. But I mean, my great grandfather had farm. I mean, he had land, but it's
Yeah.
now 1/3 of an acre of land. And it's not to make anyone, feel bad. It's okay to not know,
Yeah.
right? It's
Totally
okay to not
fine.
know what to do. But once you start getting the information and getting the education, then that's when it's not okay. Right.
Yeah.
When you have resources like, Sam, like myself, like people who, genuinely care,
Mm-hmm.
about this not continuing to happen, that we need to change the legacy, of of legacies, that has been.
Yes.
And it's just, the thrill of, sitting here with you now,
Mm-hmm.
recording this, having this dialogue, and just saying, hey, look, it's not about Sam and I, making, whatever it is the commission is. Like the number of times that I have gifted people with the opportunity of the services that I provide,
Mm-hmm.
like saying, hey, look, you need a will, you need the medical power of attorney, you need the proxy. Here, utilize this service for 30 days, for 60 days. I'm treating. I got you covered,
Yeah.
right? And if people decide to withdraw or no longer keep the services, so be it. But at least I know that
Mm-hmm.
I've walked you through getting your will
Mm-hmm.
done. And when people get it, and they say, "Wow, bro, it really was that simple."
It's
And
Let me tell you something. It's very simple because, like I said, I had to update my will. All you do is you call because I'm a member of Legal Shield. I've been a member for about 2 years now. You call and you tell them what you want to do. They send you the paperwork. You started. I had my cousins sign, be witnesses. My sister was there. It was all done, and like that is off my shoulder. Now I can focus on now building more assets because it's like, all right, now the will is in place. Now I can start building more assets, and this is a service that if you go to a lawyer, Brian, tell them how much it costs when you get these services at a law firm.
anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000. But I want to slide back for a second because
Go
you,
ahead.
you, you said Legal Shield.
Hmm.
What one of the services that the Savage Family Officer provides is Legal Shield, an ID Shield. I'm also a licensed insurance broker. We do property and casualty, but in our portfolio is a program and service called Legal Shield. And what Legal Shield is a service that is very similar to Legal Shield does for attorneys what health insurance does for doctors, right?
Hmm.
And it gives people access to not just a lawyer, but law firms across the country for all of your legal needs.
Hmm.
One of the areas of coverage is a comprehensive will, right? It's included in the membership. Right now, I'm here in Maryland. You're in New York. I can
Hmm.
tell you, like I said, it's a minimum of $1,500 for a simple will. Like when you start
Hmm.
getting, comprehensive and start, itemizing things and doing a comprehensive will, we're talking in excess of $2,000.
Hmm.
And then it has to be updated at least once a year because your situation and circumstances
Change. Yeah.
change.
Hmm.
Your income increases, your family grows,
Hmm.
your assets increase.
Yes.
So, that's $2,000 every year. But every year with Legal Shield, you get a comprehensive will at no additional charge. You get
Hmm.
a medical power of attorney. And those things that are in place, what Sam and I are talking about, for, like I said, no additional cost outside of the monthly membership and or I should say a subscription, right? So what it does is it gives you a peace of mind
Hmm.
that one, you have your will in place. You have that medical directive. You have all of those things in place in addition to access to an attorney, or
Hmm.
I should say a law firm for any and everything,
Yeah.
right? Because Legal Shield is the coverage or is the it's not in some states it's considered an insurance because you need a license to administer to serve clients.
Hmm.
But I say for the sake of example, Legal Shield is the insurance that makes sure your other insurances do what they're supposed to do.
Insurance for insurance.
Right? Because heaven forbid, I'll share this story real quick.
Hmm.
Um, I know a young lady, 18 years old, got into a car accident down here in Maryland. Thank God she was fine. Car was totaled.
Hmm.
And I'll shorten the story because I'll just say this: she was making a left turn. A car was coming in the opposite direction, flying like a bat out of blazes.
Hmm.
Hit her, but because she was making a left turn, there is it's not a stipulation or it's called the boulevard rule. Where if you're making a left turn into traffic, pretty much, the accident is going to be considered,
Your fault.
your fault, right?
Hmm.
So long story short, this young lady was making a left turn. The other car was, flying like a bat out of hell, hit her, but there were witnesses, right? So the young lady made the statement to her insurance company, made a recorded statement. After the statement,
Hmm.
she said, the insurance company said, okay, well, thank you for your statement. Based on another witness's account, blah blah blah. We're going to take fault because you made the left turn.
Hmm.
Her lawyer was on the phone with her when she made the statement. The lawyer had said, okay, why don't you wait before you say you're going to be at fault or, we're going to accept responsibility. until you get the police report.
Mm-hmm.
The lawyer and the insurance representative went back and forth about, the Boulevard law. She said the lawyer was, adamant, was upset because they wouldn't wait for the police report. Insurance company said, okay, we're going to take blame. A couple of weeks later, they get the police report. Insurance company had called the young lady and her mother and said, we're taking back fault because there was another eyewitness based on the police report that, the young lady wasn't at fault, went into the whole situation, called the lawyer up, and the lawyer was like, see, I told y'all. And,
Mm-hmm.
but again, it's just I share all that to say having the peace of mind and knowing that you have an attorney at your disposal for situations like that.
Yep.
Many times we go into situations um, and without consulting with an attorney or
Mm-hmm.
just knowing our rights. And what that does is Legal Shield gives you access to knowing your rights. So I think one time before you had shared about the your gym membership too.
Yeah, I did. I had because there's all this fine print that you're like, I just want to sign up for something. You don't really go through each little line and stuff. But there's always something in there that doesn't always work in your favor. And when you're trained legal counsel, you catch things like that. Like my mom is going through something now with a business issue that the lawyer caught it and like, no, you're not going to do this. You're going to do X, Y, and Z. And it's because she has the Legal Shield membership, because now she has access, especially for business owners out there. I have it for my business as well, but you have support. You have support so that if you ever have a question or anything, you have access to not someone that's saying, well, let me look through it, but you have a professional that's looking through what you need to be done. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, from the business standpoint as well. I
Yeah.
mean, there's
Mm-hmm.
there's so many. There are a number of programs that
Mm-hmm.
are customized for
Mm-hmm.
individuals, families, like you said, small businesses,
Yeah.
new businesses that are looking to form their form their LLC,
Mm-hmm.
launching their business.
Yeah.
Existing businesses.
Mm-hmm.
If you have debt collection issues or looking to do trademarks or
Mm-hmm.
anything that requires you to consult with an attorney. These services provide you access to that attorney. But it starts with getting your again getting your will in place and
Yeah.
kicking the tires, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Getting the service, getting a will, getting your will done, having it notarized and getting direction on how to secure it and keep it. If it needs to be like here in Maryland, there's a register of wills. Like if you need to register
Mm-hmm.
your will with the state of New York or whatever state you're in.
Mm-hmm.
So again, just going back to why we do what we do.
Yeah.
It's just that peace of mind. That.
Peace of mind for when you're no longer living and when you're living. Like
Mhm.
that is priceless. Knowing that everything is set up for yourself, knowing that you took the step. Because Brian, what I say, I preach a lot on Instagram. I don't know if you follow me on Instagram, but
Yes,
I
I do.
preach a lot about execution, and I feel like a lot of people struggle with executing. They oftentimes think, well, I'm not, where this person is, or I'm not where I feel I should be. But execution starts wherever you are. Like execution is vital to getting anything moving and going forward. And it's just something that we have become so lackluster with, where like, oh, it doesn't have to be done right now, but it doesn't, but it does. It's like, and that's the easiest way I can say it. Like, it doesn't. Is it life and death? No, but is it life and death? Yes. It
Yes,
kind of
yes.
is. It is on both spectrums. So it's important that people start taking action. Start with your will. Get that set up. Go to your healthcare proxy, power of attorney. Get those things, those documents set up in place. And when you have it, you need to let someone know. Like you need to let people know where stuff is. Where you kept it. Everything should be put in a safe place. If you're keeping it a paper version, fireproof safe. To keep all your documents in. Have these conversations, because Brian, like you said, most people don't want to talk about it. But there's nothing wrong with with these conversations. It's just a part of life that we all have to accept, you know.
Right. And the great thing about it, again, going back to Legal Shield,
Mhm.
you know, you may not want to. The problem that we have is when something is going on, we go to individuals who we trust,
Mhm.
for advice, and they can only give us feedback or information based on what they've done,
Mhm.
what they haven't done, or what they think. Right? That's not good. I
No.
mean, we've done it, but it's not good, right? You go to auntie or
Mhm.
your uncle, for advice about what should I do if I no go to your attorney,
Yeah.
consult with your attorney.
Yeah.
Don't get someone's opinion. Get
Mhm.
legal advice and proper ways to do or not do, or execute or not execute. And one thing that you said about you share about executing, or I'm not where so and so is, or I'm not where
Mhm.
I should be.
Mhm.
Listen, we're all good at something. We're all great at something,
Mhm.
right? And we didn't get there overnight. I played football for 17 years. I became I was very good, but I didn't start out very good,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? When we go to work out in the gym, we see people running, 4-minute mile, or lifting 400 pounds, but they didn't start lifting
No, and let me tell you
400
something. I'm
pounds.
a gym rat. You don't start at 400 pounds. Trust me. You would kill yourself.
Yeah,
Make your
so
back.
yeah, so we
Yeah.
look at where we want to be and be like, I'm not there, and
Mhm.
it deters you. But no, you eat an elephant one bite at a time.
Mhm.
You have to start, like you said, Sam, where you are.
Start where you are. Yeah.
Start where you are. And I heard something this week. It's like, basically, fear is something that you're worrying about that hasn't happened yet. Like, I don't know, I can't remember it exactly, but it's basically you're worrying about something that has not occurred. So
Mhm.
why are you worrying about it? Just do
Yeah.
what you need to do.
Mhm.
Because then, like I said, that if you look at your why, like saying, why are you doing this? For your
Mhm.
legacy, for your
Yeah.
family. Why am I doing this? For my family. What is it that motivates you to do the things that you do? You
Mhm.
know, let that be what drives you to get your will done,
That's right. That's
get
right.
your medical, your
Mhm.
power of attorney done, because we work hard. We work hard for what we have, and we don't want the state to tell us
Mhm.
what's in our family's best interest when we're gone.
Yeah.
That's not what we worked for. And that Sam, that's what you and I do. We
Yeah.
we we sit down and we talk to our clients, our friends, our members, to educate and inform. And you don't have to share your intimate details with us,
Mhm.
but you do need to share it with the professionals that can
Mhm.
and will help you. And that starts with going back to getting your lawyer. Because how many times have we said, what do I do about this? What do I
Yeah.
do about that?
And we go to people that, like you said, have just what they think should be done and what is not the proper way to do things. It's starting these conversations is always tough, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. I mean, what in life was not tough at first? But it's just you have to start. Um, just like Brian said, remember who your why is. Remember why you're doing this, because that is going to be the driving force behind this. Just making sure everything is covered. Like, not to sound, too sad, but tomorrow's not promised. It's a lot of stuff going on in the world today, and I want those in my communities, those who are listening, to understand how important it is for us to change our mindset and get on the ball with getting our stuff together. And a lot of people say, well, this is how we've done it before, or we've never done it like that. That doesn't mean it's correct. Just because you never did it like that before doesn't mean it's correct. Like, the whole point of growing is evolving. And sometimes evolving means doing something different than what has been done in the past. And just having a piece of paper that's going to give out your last wishes so that your family can take time to properly grieve, because that's what it really is allowing your family to grieve without having to worry about, oh, we have to go fight for
Amen.
granddaddy's land, or we got to fight for grandma's house because it wasn't left the proper way. That's what this is all about. It's about making that transition smooth so that you can be able to get the baton that the other generation is passing to you and start building it and making more, creating more assets and building up that legacy for the next generation to come.
I mean, it really is about a peace of mind,
Hmm.
right? And this is it's not a sales pitch, right? But
No.
what I'm saying is this, right? Well, I'll say this first. When we operate in a level of confidence, when there's a level of confidence, our swag is on 100.
Hmm.
When you know what you know and you know that you're right,
Hmm.
your confidence is through the roof. I'm like I said, I'm an athlete,
Hmm.
and for those that are sports fans, when you're on top of your game, when Michael Jordan, LeBron, whoever your favorite player is, when they're on.
They're
And you can
on
see a Kobe when he was on, the fire that was in his
the
eye.
number.
There, yeah, yeah. I think of, and I'm not going to get off track, but there's a clip. I forgot the dude's name real quick, but he was taking the ball out of bounds, and he faked like he was going to throw the ball in Kobe Bryant's face. Kobe didn't blink. Like, he
Hmm.
was just focused. He was on fire. He was confident with it.
Hmm.
And that's what Sam and I are sharing. Sam and I are sharing the information that allows you to be confident and have the peace of mind of when you know what you know and you know you're right. You
Hmm.
operate with a level that can't be touched,
Yes.
right? Because then if you don't know and you're operating in a space that you don't know, you're stressing, you're
Yeah.
worried, you, your blood pressure goes up, your sugar
Yeah,
goes
you're
up.
just not confident, and people can sense when you're not confident, and they will prey on that. They will
Mhm.
prey on that and try to take advantage of you. Definitely.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I have on a number of occasions, have said, you know what? I'll have my lawyer give you a call.
Hmm.
I'm finished with this conversation.
Hmm.
There have been times, and just the one, there's so many stories, but in 2020, during the pandemic, during the height of the pandemic, I got, I started getting harassing letters and phone calls from a collection company about a traffic violation on the Jersey Turnpike.
Hmm.
Wanted to charge me, it was $125 for the late fees and missed toll and everything else. I went through my account, saw that it was paid, everything was taken care of. Tried to explain it to him on the phone. Didn't want to hear it. You know what? I'm done. I called the attorney, sent over the information. 3 days, got a letter back. They sent the letter. They forwarded me the letter.
Hmm.
Sent the letter to the collection company and everything else. Hadn't heard from them in 2 years since then. No more collection letters, no
Hmm.
more phone calls. And again, I guess it was 120, $125, whatever it is. You know, an average lawyer charges that per hour.
Hmm.
I don't even pay that for 6 months. Well, I pay a little bit more because of the services that I have. But what I'm saying is, the affordable price of
Hmm.
this service allows me to
Hmm.
pick up the phone and call my lawyer
Yeah.
about anything. Another time, in transparency, I'm married to an attorney. And we had an issue, not an issue, but during COVID with daycare, and reading the agreement or what have you. And she was like, "Well, I'll take care of it. I'll read it." I was like, "No, why?" I was like, one, that's not your area of expertise, but
Hmm.
you're a great attorney, but this is what we're paying for. Let the attorney that is experienced in this area, let them look it over. Yeah, you're right. That's a good idea. Like I said, the young lady that had the car accident.
Hmm.
The number of times that I've gotten a speeding ticket, and they've gone to court for me. So
Hmm.
again, it's just knowing that it's available
Yeah.
is what we're sharing here now.
Yeah.
That there are resources and things that are available that
Hmm.
you don't have to do on your own.
Yeah, you don't, there's no more guessing about, well, how much it's going to cost me, fun. And this is why it's so great, because you pay this low rate, you get these documents put into place, and they're your documents, and they're completed, and they're done. And then if you like it, you continue, you use all the features, the other features that are there, services that are available for you. But the key thing we want everyone to understand is now is the time to start thinking of the next level, what the future is going to be for you and your loved ones. Do you have your will? If you don't, get that done. If you want to be a little bit more, you if you need the trust, there are discounts to help you set up the trust. But the will is the first thing you need to get and get that secured. Then you move on to the healthcare proxy. And it all comes in a package. It's not separate. It's like it's the will, the healthcare proxy, and the power of attorney. You get that all done and you're good to go. And everyone should have that. Everyone, especially parents, married couples, these are documents that you need in place because you need to be able to your loved ones need to be able to make decisions when things don't go the way you both envision it to go. Mm-hmm.
Even if couples are not married,
Mm-hmm.
most recently, there was a case or a situation where um, uh, one partner passed away, leaving the other partner who, they cohabitated, they weren't married, but that partner was not entitled to anything,
Mm-hmm.
legally because they weren't married. But if a will was in place, if that individual that passed had a will in place,
Mm-hmm.
again, that's a peace of mind and protection, for your loved ones. But like you said, Sam, it's a subscription. It's a
Yeah.
month to month subscription,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, from letters and phone calls, right? Contract and document review, um, family medical, family domestic.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going through a divorce,
Mm-hmm.
um, child support, adoption, these are things that are covered as a part of the membership. Again, it's like health insurance. There are
Mm-hmm.
parts of the plan or parts of the services that are covered at 100%. If not, you get a discount. So in essence, everything is included. Does it cover DWI? Yes, but at a discounted rate,
Mm-hmm.
right? Does it cover if I'm sued civilly? Yes, 100% up to a number of hours. So like
Mm-hmm.
if you're sued, you trip and fall. Somebody trips and falls on your property or what have you. Somebody sues you. You have representation. You have a lawyer to represent you
Mm-hmm.
in that civil matter.
Yep.
If you're again filing for an adoption, those services after 90 days
Mm-hmm.
are covered, no additional charge. The law firm will,
Mm-hmm.
walk you through, represent you, and be your attorney for that
Mm-hmm.
adoption, for that divorce. Like I said, letters and phone calls. Just the number of times that we've said, "Hey, you get into a customer dispute or what have you. Let me speak to your supervisor," or you're signing um, a cell phone bill, not a cell phone bill, but you're getting a cell phone contract or like
Mm-hmm.
a gym membership. The piece of buying a car. Before you sign anything, I'll have my
Mm-hmm.
attorney review that.
That's right.
So again, it's not just a one and done, type of deal. Every day we're making legal decisions, whether we know it or not, whether we believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it's a comprehensive package that like you said, it starts with you know getting your will done, and then getting
Mm-hmm.
that peace of mind for everything else.
Yeah, it's
And
very important.
and again, that's all we're doing is educating
Yeah.
and providing you with the information.
Yeah.
Not shoving anything down your throat saying, "Hey,
No,
you got to have
just
this."
teaching you what needs to be done. I've seen my share of cases where people are like, well, I just didn't know, and it's like now with the power behind social media that we can get on, we can share this with you guys, teach you. It's a game changer because now our community no longer has to say, well, we didn't know. We didn't know that we can do that, or we didn't know that that was available to us. Because now you hear us saying, this is what's available to you. This is what
Mhm.
you can get at an affordable rate where you're not trying to figure out how I'm going to pay for this and pay for that. Now you can get it all in one shot. It's like
Yeah.
it's
and
easy.
and and there have been added features and benefits. For
Mhm.
example, there's the consumer portion of it,
Mhm.
credit counseling.
Mhm.
Not that stuff that we see where, oh, we can fix your credit and we can do that. No, this is credit counseling education that says, no, this is what you need to do to
Mhm.
dot the I, to cross the T, not pay this company X amount of dollars to, get this taken off.
That's
And
right.
then, 6 or 7 months later, it's
It's
back
back
on.
on.
Yeah.
And a lot of those, I know this is a different side note, but a lot of those
Mhm.
credit repair companies are being sued because of
Mhm.
unfair, unethical practices, which take being predatory, take people's money because
Right.
people are desperate. But
Right.
now you have access to. I didn't even know about the new services.
Yeah, but again, it takes it back to,
Mhm.
these predatory, companies, takes it back to having that peace of mind of picking up the
Uh-huh.
phone and calling your lawyer and saying, hey, is this legitimate? I
Mhm.
have a question about X. Can you help me with Y? In addition, not to get, sidetracked,
Yeah.
we're talking about social media too. And, every single day, how many times do we get, a friend request from somebody that we're already friends with because their,
Yeah.
account has been cloned or hacked or what have you.
Mhm.
There's the identity theft protection piece. And,
Mhm.
again, everything um, available, again, to give you that protection and peace of mind and access to the attorneys to, live life
Yeah.
and live it confidently.
That's what we want you to do. We want you guys to know what's going on, how to get the resources, get them at an affordable price, which is always great for everyone's pocket, especially now with the way the economy is flowing. But the ending message is if you do not have your documents in order, you need to start getting that done. These conversations need to be had now. Like I said, it's not life and death, but it is kind of life and death. Like these
Mhm.
conversations need to be happening right now, like while we're on this live, or this weekend, sit down and have these conversations and say, do we have this in order? Because this is what's going to help our family during the process of grieving. Nobody wants to have to lose a loved one and then have to worry about where is the children going, or where is the home going, or what happened to the access to the land. These are things that we don't have to worry about anymore. Back in the day, we didn't have access to information. People that look like us, we weren't allowed to read. That wasn't too long ago. Don't get it. Don't be naive by it. It wasn't too long ago where we were not allowed to learn how to read. Now we have the power and we're the privilege to do this. Now it's time for us to get our ducks in order.
Yeah. And to, just to bring it all home, or just to bring it all together, right? We started off and it may have sounded like we're, bouncing around, like the little ball in the pinball machine, but we're not, right? Because it all fits together. And I
Mhm.
say all that to follow up with, you know, if you don't have your life insurance or if you haven't had it updated, holla at Sam. If you have questions about your car insurance, your home insurance, I'm available,
Mhm.
to answer questions because again, I'd rather have you get your questions answered, get
Mhm.
the information that you need, than for you to do business with me. Like if I come to you, Sam, and be like, okay, well, XYZ company has this car quote for you. It's $3,000. You need to sign with me, but no, company B has this and it's $1,500, and you still get the perks or the benefits and the coverage that you need.
Mhm.
Go ahead. I don't have access to that company. Go
Mhm.
ahead and go with that
Right.
company because that's
Mhm.
what's in your best interest, right? Because when you operate, I'm just saying this for us now, for
Mhm.
those and for our potential clients.
Mhm.
When you operate in and with integrity and you do what's in the best interest of your client, you in turn will get the blessings that
You
you
always
all
will.
deserve. Yeah.
Always will. Yeah.
So I share that to say, you know let me look at your insurance quote. Let me look at your deck page.
Mhm.
Why are you paying this amount of coverage for your car when your car is a 1970, whatever. But at the same time,
Yeah.
you have a 2021
Mhm.
car. You're not paying enough. you
Yeah.
know Although it's cheaper, although you're only paying $100 a month, you need to be paying $300 a month, because heaven
Mhm.
forbid, if you need to use your insurance, you're not going to have the coverage that you
That's right.
require.
That's right.
So there are people, there are companies out there that throw the kitchen sink at you and tell you this is the coverage that you need. No, you don't need
Mhm.
it.
No.
It's like having PMI insurance on your house, right?
Yeah.
You have that insurance, and it's like you've had it for 10, 15 years. You're still paying. Why are you still paying it?
Yeah.
You know,
You
there,
don't paid it off, and then some.
right. So I mean, again, the benefit of you watching this, the benefit of you
Mhm.
interacting and being able to work with Sam and I, or at least just talk to Sam and I,
Mhm.
you are going to get the absolute truth. You know,
Yes.
whether it means you being able to do business with us being able to serve you, I should say better,
Yeah,
or
definitely.
not. Yeah,
Hmm.
you know, we are going to give you the honest to goodness truth
Hmm.
and what's in your best interest. So, you know, that's just, you know, getting off my soapbox now. I just
Yep,
wanted to
that's a
share
great way to close it out.
that.
That's a great way to close it out. That's exactly what we're here for. These are conversations to help people understand what their options are. Because I feel a lot of times people don't know what their options are, and now you have it. So thank you everyone for tuning in, and hopefully this conversation has sparked some interest in people, and you want to get the ball rolling. We are both here to help you with any questions you have. That's what we do. We also are here to serve our community because we want everyone to win, and that's the honest truth. So everyone, have a good night. Talk to you soon.
Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Thanks again, Sam.